Hello and welcome to the D3 podcast. This is your host, Matt, joined as always by Sam and John. How's it going, boys?
Matt, we have to be very open. What were you sniffing there right before you started recording?
Tea. It's
Tea.
green
Okay.
tea.
Tea. Okay. Green tea.
Very
Thank you for
good.
specifying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Sleeping Dragon. That sounds like one of the craziest drugs that I've ever heard of in my life.
That's just prescription drugs, Matt.
Oh, oh man.
It's got a bunch of benzos in your cup.
Gonna
We do
robo
not promote
trip the rest
overdosing.
of the podcast. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have buy or sell for you. Let's start with the number one. Sam, I'm going to give this one to you. The New York Knicks will be a new hotspot destination for free agents. This is a very interesting question because of how well they've been doing this year. How are we feeling about this? I'm assuming you're going to buy.
Yeah, I'm buying it. This is the only thing I'm buying. I'm going to go broke because buying any real estate in New York is a mistake. It's not a good investment overall. But this is the only investment I'll buy. And I think that for the first time ever, really, I think since Patrick Ewing, really, because even Carmelo couldn't attract people here, and no one wanted to be with him. This is the first time they actually have something happening, and there's actually no real star. And I think this could be an actual turning point for a lot of young guys. And maybe they don't have to have a star. Maybe, I'm hearing a lot of rumors of, hear me out, Jalen Brunson, very, very star power. Other one being Lonzo Ball, Andre Drummond, how that goes with moving forward. I would be okay with like a Lonzo Ball, Tom Thibodeau duo.
I
We'll
wouldn't.
make D Rose, we'll crush D Rose, and then, live the cycle again. So I'm buying this. I think it's going to be fun watching the Knicks for the first time ever.
Lonzo Ball being on the Lakers will never happen. Or not Lakers, I'm sorry, will never happen. All right, ESPN, calm down.
Copyright strike.
Right. No, that's not going to happen. I refuse to make that happen. The Lonzo Ball will be on the balls, and I will hear nothing more of that. Nothing more of that, Sam. John, are we buying?
I'm gonna sell. I don't think. Well, I don't know. How many people are really gonna want to play with Julius Randle and RJ Barrett? Like, I'm sorry. I don't know. Like, what's the draw? Like, it's cool. I don't think the free agents want to flock to Tom Thibodeau teams, frankly. It would be tough if you're like a vet, say you're like a 32-year-old vet, and you're like, okay, I want to find a team where I'm going to win a ring. Let me go somewhere where I'm going to have to play 42 minutes a night, get no rest with a bunch of guys, got to play the most like defense I'll ever have played in my life. And like, I just don't think that he's a particularly attractive coach. The Knicks are good. Congratulations, Knicks fans. You have a fun team. Like fun, a bunch of fucking bricklayers, but but defensively they're great. And if they get a free agent, that's awesome. I don't know why, frankly, anyone would sign with the Knicks right now. I just don't see it because I feel like if you bring in a star, it's just like I don't think RJ Barrett is there in his development for that to be like the right time to do that. Because you want to bring a star in when RJ Barrett is like when you really know what he's gonna be, when he finally like has a season where he takes like a real leap, because he definitely is better this year. He's been pretty solid. He's still not great, but he's definitely had a lot of good moments. I think you should give yourself another year to figure out what he can really become before you bring in a star that would probably like take the ball out of his hands and push this forward. I think as soon as a team gets pretty good nowadays, they're like, okay, we got to risk it all to get in real contention. And I don't think this Knicks team is really there yet, especially with the other teams in the East. Like, I don't know why you would want to be the second best team in New York. So I don't know. I don't see it personally, but if it happens, good for Knicks fans. I'm sure that it'll get fucked up somehow frankly.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd have to agree with you on that one, John.
Better than people.
Sorry, Sam.
9 points, 5 rebound, star talent, Pat Williams. What?
How about fucking Kevin Knox and Obi Toppin and fucking?
Oh no, don't worry. They'll be gone for the star player.
What's Nilakina doing?
Zach LaVine, call me up, okay? We'll get you home.
How dare you?
That's right. I'm going to take Lonzo. I'm going to take Zach LaVine. You know what? Just for fun, and then just to release him, Pat Williams.
Sir.
You know, okay. Fine. Yeah, you can release him. We'll sign him to a super max the next day. We'll sign him. Locked in for life.
Worth every penny.
10-year contract.
He will never leave Chicago. He will be the best.
Just like Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Yeah, this feels a lot like that. But you know, it's different this time. It is. I have no choice other than to believe that. I'm sure that's how you feel watching DeJounte Murray every night.
Damn. Oh God, that's rough. All right, let's get on to the next one. Dennis Schroeder is worth the max deal. I'm a sell on that one. And it's not necessarily because of the talent, because he's actually a very good player, very good point guard. I don't see him as a max deal kind of guy. I definitely just see him as like a support role. And I don't see that going anywhere else. Like, he was definitely put on the Lakers because he's like a competent point guard. And that's really it. That's kind of all I see it as. So I'm going to sell it. Sam, I'm going to go with you.
You said he was very good and then call him confident. That's like immediate downgrade. So you said he could play basketball is what you basically
I never said very good.
I've seen him
saying very good.
Yeah, I've seen the guy dribble. He's pretty good. I'm gonna buy because someone is dumb enough to give him the max deal. It's gonna be the Knicks, right? It's gonna be the Knicks. It's gonna happen. Like, you know, it's kind of sad, but it's definitely gonna happen. Overall, personally, I don't think he's worth the max. He should have taken the Lakers deal because $8 million 4 year. That's pretty good. Like, it's for like being the third highest paid player on the team. Like, I would take that instantly. So I will buy exclusively just because the Knicks are gonna mess it up.
You would get the ball in LA. Like, why wouldn't you? I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. John, I'll go with you next.
Of course, yeah. This would be a travesty. This would be the worst contract in the history of the league. If he got a max contract, it would be a disaster. It would be worse than Gilbert Arenas getting paid $62 million to play 17 games. Like, that's how fucking stupid it would be. Like, I'm sorry, he is a very good player. I think the absolute peak accolade he'll ever receive in his career would be like sixth man of the year. That's like the absolute ceiling for Dennis Schroeder. The fact that he did not take that $80 million deal is mind-boggling. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what you're thinking. And if he gets a crazy fucking deal after maybe the Lakers win, if the Lakers win the ring and he gets an insane contract, then that's all LeBron. That's all. That's just literally LeBron talking to the Buss family and saying, "Hey, Jeannie, you're going to pay this man something stupid because I'm only going to be here for another couple of years. Then I'm out. I don't care what happens down the line." Like, that's Anthony Davis's problem to figure out.
Sam, can you just really quickly text Kevin and ask him this question? I'm very interested to see how the Lakers fan is feeling about Dennis Schroeder. Thank you, appreciate it. So John, you're selling hard.
Oh, absolutely no. Yeah. It's insane that he did not take that contract from earlier. Frankly,
fucking mind blowing. I don't get it. This one is a very good question. Lonzo Ball will be a New Orleans Pelican next season. Going to say no to that. He's going to be a Chicago Bull next season, and I will not have anything else besides that. Sam?
I'm going to buy. I'm going to sell on this because we're going to sell very high. Based off Kevin's response to the last question, LOL, no. So, Mr. Schroeder, we love you, but you're not worth that much of that. I'm just saying, you're worth the 80. I give him the 80. I think that's fair. I think 80 million is a fair 6-man like runner-up position.
The absolute
Per
most
Kevin,
you should make.
Yeah.
Yeah. Per Kevin, he good, but he not that good.
Yeah.
There you have it.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Lonzo Ball be a New Orleans Pelican if the Pelicans are not allowed to have like more than 10 more first round picks at this point because they're just cashing in on all of this. I think Lonzo Ball is actually the piece they need, but they want to just sell him as like high point. And I think this is it. Like I think this is actually a really good point to sell him at. Places to put him in the center. I think we all know the Bulls do need a point guard. I think that's really this is a missing factor. I think running the ball should run through Levine, but from Levine's talent is kind of hard to measure because how kind of like diversifiable he's become over the years. Changing from a true shooting guard to kind of being like all around has really kind of changed my picture on him. I think he actually could be a really good ball handler. I just don't think he has the point guard IQ just because he's not that's not how he's built. I actually see him as like a rim runner slasher. I think that's actually like his true calling overall. And I mean, who doesn't want Lonzo Ball like throwing you lobs day after day after day? Like this guy is like really bad Chris Paul, because that's a really bad comp. But the way Lonzo Ball plays with Zion is like beautiful. I think that's actually like what they need. But they're gonna sell on him. So let's get him out of here.
I like that, Sam. I like that. I especially like the fact that you mentioned the Bulls and you didn't talk about the Knicks. I appreciate that. Very nice.
Knicks. Yeah. Okay.
No. You said your piece. It's all good. It's all good, man. You're good, John. I'll go to you next.
Yeah. Future Dallas Maverick Lonzo Ball. No, I don't think. I honestly, actually, kind of think I think he's going to stay in New Orleans. As much as I don't want him to, as much as I would like for him to be on the Bulls, I feel like this front office will have a come to Jesus moment of like, okay, Lonzo's probably actually the only person on this roster that fits perfectly with Zion. He's actually like really the only person in this core that we can say 100% like this guy plays well with Zion. So I think he stays.
Yep, totally fair. Totally fair. So we have the next one. The Warriors will be a top 8 Western Conference team by the end of the season. I gotta sell because it's not looking great for the rest of the team. Obviously, Steph Curry is just fucking amazing. One of my favorite players to play the game, honestly. He's just so incredibly talented. But as we have seen from the past, unless your name is LeBron James, I don't think you're going to be able to carry your team to the championship. I really don't. It's kind of sad to see it. I was really hoping for Golden State to sneak their way into the playoffs, but unfortunately, I just can't see that happening. Sam?
Just like to add on to the Dennis Schroeder comment per Kevin. Could be good in 2 years, though. THO. I'm not sure I don't know how much better he could get at that standpoint, but I could probably buy on this. In terms of schedule strength, the Warriors are the 20th strongest, with Memphis being 22nd. So it'll just kind of be trading wins and losses at this point. And I just find that I think Steph Curry can actually carry a team. It's tough when it's this bad. Like there's literally like no one he can support. I think it's bad, especially as a point guard. I think if you're a forward, a little bit more universal compared like to a LeBron James, like you said, I think he can actually be a bit more directly impacted to the game. Whereas Steph Curry's true calling is as a pure scoring juggernaut at this point. Like the only thing I could see them like probably foregoing is just the Memphis Grizzlies at this point. So I'm gonna buy solely just because it's the Memphis Grizzlies. As much as I love Ja, Grizzlies are just not that fun to watch right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I get it, John.
I'm gonna. Fuck. I don't know. This one's really tough. It could really go either way. I think I'm gonna sell though. I think that the Grizzlies are at least a more cohesive unit than the Warriors at this point, because it really is like, okay, Steph, you need to go out there and score like 33 points at least, just so we can be in the game. And even that's not really been enough on a lot of nights. So it's just like, I don't know how much the rest of this team is going to be able to like support them bumping up. It is very close. They're only 2 games behind the Grizzlies right now, but I just think this team is like kind of a mess. So I'm proceeding with caution when it comes to the Warriors. I think they're a real threat when it gets to play in game time, but to actually like end the regular season as an 8 seed, I'm a little less sure about that.
Okay,
So I'll sell.
That's fair. Utah and Brooklyn will finish on the top of their conference. I think Brooklyn. Ooh. How many games are left? Do you guys know that offhand?
Like under 20? I think it's 15, 16 games left per team, like on average.
Yeah, it's under 20 now.
That's rough. I think one of them at the very least, I think one of them is not. I'm gonna sell. I do not think that they both will be number one. I strictly because of the Brooklyn Nets having so many injury problems. Kevin Durant is out because of a leg injury, which is terrifying. That's the one thing you don't want to see coming from Kevin Durant. And while James Harden and Kyrie Irving ball the fuck out all the time, it's kind of just like what happens when one of your most important pieces falls apart, you know. And Kyrie isn't exactly the most trustworthy person as far as playing consistent games. So I can't imagine that the Nets will stay number one. I do think that the 76ers kind of have this nice little resurgence with Embiid back and everything. I think now they're just like, all right, we're just going to ball out for a little bit and then we're going to chill. So I do think the 76ers can stay. Depending on Donovan Mitchell's injury, maybe the Jazz can stay as a number one. And I only say that because I don't know if any other team really in the Western Conference really cares about being number one other than the Phoenix Suns. Because, like, the Lakers are going to be in the playoffs, and honestly, wherever you put the Lakers, they're going to make it. They're gonna pass through the first round. The Clippers, maybe they can pull it out. I'm sure that it would be in the cards for them to do it. It's more so just like, again, does it matter for them? I don't think that like they want to be a first contender necessarily, or like that they don't have to be a first round number one seed. I do not think they have to be a number one seed, and because of that, I just don't think there's really much competition for that spot unless you're the Phoenix Suns and Utah Jazz. So I gotta sell. I'm gonna sell on that one. Sam, what are your thoughts?
I think I'm gonna buy. I think the Nets they still click on a lot of things. I know they just lost today to the Miami Heat. Very close. You know, we did see Kieran Durant go out with the left thigh contusion. I'm not sure what the timetable is on that. It still seemed like he was moving pretty fluidly. Like you said, Matt, I think it really just does come down to the Brooklyn Nets' health. But I think a lot of their bench players are trying to step up and fill up those roles. We're seeing a lot of like Joe Harris minutes come up, especially, and he's been playing very well when those guys are out. So I'm gonna buy. I think the Nets could finish on top, and I think that would be much better for the Nets if they were to play against the right now Hornets versus like a Miami Heat team. So I'll buy on this.
John?
I'm going to sell. I think that Brooklyn, even if all their guys do get healthy towards the end of the season, I think at this point they're going to be generously resting those three guys. Even if it's not their choice when it comes to Kyrie, maybe Kyrie is just like got a trip scheduled at some point soon. But so I don't think Brooklyn will finish as a 1 seed because I think they're going to be too busy resting guys or dealing with injuries, where like the Sixers, I think, wanted a lot more. And especially because I think Embiid wants to try to get himself back into the MVP discussion. I think Ben Simmons wants to prove he's the defensive player of the year. So they're going to be really pushing, I think. Utah, and that's the same thing. I it's a toss-up with Utah. Depends on how much they slide in the games that Mitchell's out, how healthy he is when he comes back, because the Suns are really, really good too. So, I'm selling.
I get it. I think it wouldn't it's one of those things where it wouldn't surprise me if they do hit that number 1. But it's more so just like I don't think it really matters at this point, kind of. Next one, Steph finishes the season with the most threes made per game in his career. I am buying that. Dude's on fire. He is currently at 5.1 per game, which is his highest mark, and he has that right now. And that's, I mean, that would, like, of all the things for Steph to do, I think that might be kind of sitting in the back of his head. He probably has that stat in the back of his mind, and he's probably just like, I mean, I'm going to ball out the hardest I've ever ball out just so that we could possibly make the playoffs. And that's going to be the way to do it, honestly. That's going to be the way to do it for the Warriors. If you're going to make the playoffs, Steph is going to be making the most threes he's ever made per game. Sam?
I want to buy on this too. I think Steph Curry is actually, like, quantitatively actually putting up the best stats in his career, which is kind of like crazy to say because we thought that was like 4 or 5 years ago. But 31 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, like that's pretty good for a very lackluster roster, what we're seeing. And I mean, the shots he's putting up it's very old school Steph Curry, and I think we're all enjoying it. I think this is what we miss. Once Kevin Durant joined, it was just like, oh, where's Steph Curry go? Where's Steph Curry? It never felt like Kevin Durant's team either. So I'm going to buy on this for sure.
John?
I think I'll also buy. He just needs if he's going to keep being as hot as he's been for even just a few more games, I think it gives him a good cushion. Mm-hmm. And, though I think he was like more efficient in his 15-16 season where he broke the total 3-point record with 402 threes. Mm-hmm. This year he's been just about as efficient, and he's just on another fucking level right now. He's just doing everything that he possibly can for this team, and so I think that means Steve Kerr's going to just let him shoot as much as he wants. And I think we'll see this end up being on a per game basis. It'll be the most threes Steph will make in a season, I think, for his entire career, moving forward too.
Let's make it happen. The Blazers fall into the play-in game. I'm going to sell. I don't think they do that. I would be kind of shocked if they did, actually. Sam?
It's really a coin toss. I feel like since CJ McCollum come back, that's not the diss CJ McCollum, but they just haven't been as good, and it might just be their schedule toughness. I think I saw that they were the 4th toughest schedule to finish the season with the 17 games. So I won't be surprised because their differential with Dallas is 2 games. I mean, like I said, it just takes Dallas to beat Portland once to really just cut it in half at that point. So. Mm-hmm. I'm going to buy. I think they're going to be in the play-in game. It's just my Spurs are going to be the 6th. No, I'm just kidding. The defense is so lackluster. It just fell apart completely. And then, their team just didn't play playoffs, but maybe they just outscored the teams, during that run without CJ. But yeah, they're going to be in the buy-in game.
All right, John.
I 100% think they're going to fall into the play-in game. For the same reason I've been saying for weeks, because Dallas Mavericks are going to take their spot. holding to it until the very end. Think it's going to happen. I think this Blazers defense is abysmal. I think that they only have done as well this year as they have because Damian Lillard is just another fucking level of guy. Like he literally just wins. If you have a close game for Dame at the end, there's a very good chance he's going to win it for you. I don't think they're going to have enough close games coming out of the schedule because I really think their defense is that terrible. And it's truly just like, if Dame has a bad night, then they're not winning the game, like for the most part. Like, so I think they're falling into the play-in game, but I think they'll probably still make the playoffs because I would be pretty shocked if I feel like that's something Damian Lillard could just will them out of. But I think it's kind of similar, frankly, to last year's Blazers team as far as just like the defense just isn't there.
Yeah, that's fair. Bogdan Bogdanovic has taken a leap this year. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest. There are times where I do know what I'm talking about. This is not one of them. I'm kind of element on this one, so I'll be completely honest with you. Do not have a good answer for this. I've not been paying enough attention to Bogdanovic. Sam, I'll go to you.
I think this is since coming back from injury, he's been balling out like crazy. I think we're finding some cohesion with Trae Young. I mean, we know that Trae Young is not really a true point guard. Like we know that his skill set is just like I can just shoot the ball like nonstop and I'm not going to get tired. So I think they actually do need a point guard role, and then they trade away their point guard. So I'm a little confused there. But it does give more time to Bogdanovic to really set his roots into this team and actually put some real contributing numbers to their wins. I think he's actually on pace for a 50-40-90 season, if I'm correct. Who doesn't like the Atlanta Hawks? I mean, you guys are ridiculous if you don't like the Atlanta Hawks. They're the best fans in the entire. They're not the best fans. But apparently, they got the best chicken wings, at the strip clubs down there. So
yeah, hell yeah.
Hey, boys, maybe we get a little summer trip down there. You know what I'm saying? Buying the strip clubs there. No, I'm buying on Bogdanovic. I think he took a big leap, and I think he's going to get. Maybe not going to be huge jumps, but I think he's going to be finding his role, and I think also evolving his skill set. So I think he's going to be progressively getting better and better each season.
All right, John.
Yeah, it's so tricky to tell with this Hawks team when guys are like taking kind of like a step up. I think even Gallo had a hot streak this year, and then he's cooled off. Like I do kind of believe in what we're seeing from Bogdanovic because he's really been he's just been scoring just a lot. Like he's just been scoring a lot of points. Like he's been very good since he came back from injury. So, I think, I don't think it's like a leap into superstardom. I think it's a leap into being like a guy who can score 18 to 22 points per game, give you like 4 to 5 assists and rebounds, like a really good player, as long as he can stay healthy. So I bet the Hawks have to be pretty excited about this. I'm sure the Bucks are pretty bummed about it after losing out on him this summer. But I think it's been sick what's been happening with him. It's cool. I think it's probably pretty real. We'll see what happens whenever that team, if they're ever fully healthy. But I buy it.
Awesome. The Bulls have a 33% chance to make the playoffs or make the play-in game, according to the Ringer's Zach Cram. So the question is, should the Bulls shamelessly tank? John, I'm going to go to you on this one first.
Absolutely. I am buying the tank. I'm buying the tank as hard as I can. I'll buy as many shares of the tank as I need to. The pick they sent Orlando this year, it's top 4 protected. There's a lot of tanking to be done to make sure that we can get into that position. And I think it's time to start doing it, frankly. This team is it's not good. It's not good. And the Vooch thing, it basically has been exactly what I said the worst case scenario would be. Levine is out now for like the COVID protocols. They're losing games left and right. It's just like I don't like this team right now. It's not working. They need an off season at least to learn how to play together. And it would be really nice to go into that off season with another top 4 pick and a loaded draft. So I think they should absolutely start tanking. And worst case, I don't even think they're going to win the play-in game to get into the playoffs. So I think at that point it's just like lose the games, do whatever you can to get yourself a top 4 pick. If you get that pick sent to Orlando, good for Orlando. You guys fucked up and deserve it anyway. Nothing good is going to come from this season for you, so get to work.
Yeah. Look, all I'm saying is if Vooch had like some mysterious back injury that nobody has heard of in his entire life, I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to look the other way. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, he has an injury and he can't play for the rest of the season? Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Sam, what's your take on this?
Before I go, Matt, I want you to take one more second to maybe take that back. We know we had some curses that came to real life in terms of injury.
Yeah.
I think people can understand that is full, like, mystery injury definitely means that he's not actually injured.
I'll tell that to whatever these curses are that we keep putting out there.
Hey, man, I knocked on wood. We're fine.
If we're resting Vucevic, we might arrest Pat Williams, right? I mean, at this point,
you shut your mouth.
At this point, you give Pat Williams as your point guard. At this point, that's what I want. Just give him the ball. Kobe White at the 5. Mix it up. Stretch out. We're playing inverse ball, and we're getting experimental in Chicago.
hey, I feel you. Oh God, yeah. This Chicago's in a weird situation. They're in a situation where I think everyone knew the trade was to build for next year, depending on what kind of pick. Obviously being top 4 protected. Getting the fifth pick would be still pretty good if you're the Orlando Magic at this point. I guess it's a double-edged sword. It's like, is making the playoffs enough to keep Zach LaVine long term? That's the real question. Is Zach LaVine going to be a permanent piece? That's still a convincing piece. And I think the Vucevic part is clearly convincing. I think we've seen the tweets and the emojis indicating that something is going the right direction at least. But I mean, with this class, it would be really nice if you guys got something. You got something. There's a lot of talent out there, and maybe it's worth trading something a little bit in the future for it. And I think it would be okay because I think that this class is very stacked, and I think that someone needs to take the step forward to really put this team together. So they should definitely tank as much as possible, and maybe the Zach LaVine being out will be the thing that changes it for them. So I'll buy on this.
Yeah, finally, some more minutes for Felicio. Let's get that boy out there. Let's get get the ball in Arcidiacono's hands.
Oh, Luol Deng is Luol Deng still playing?
Can he come out of retirement? Can we get how is Joakim Noah busy? I think he said he retired. He can come back for a few games. Relive those glory days.
He's been playing some ball lately. Let's get the White Mamba back.
Yeah, sure. Get Scal, run back.
I heard Kirk's available. So
Kirk Heinrich.
Let's do it.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's have some fun with this for a very, very, very horrendous turn of events. Thank you guys. Or actually, no, one more. Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan will reunite this offseason. Man, I hope so. Really hope so. That'd be great. We've already seen the trade rumors before the deadline for Kyle Lowry to be traded. I think there were talks of DeMar DeRozan, not necessarily. I don't think that DeMar DeRozan's a long-term, obviously, for the Spurs. So maybe something can work out that way. That'd be really cool. I'll buy it mainly because of just that'd be really fucking cool to watch. I'd be down for that. Sam?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be awesome to see that happen. I mean, they're like Brodies for life. I'm curious to you guys, if they were to reunite, which team would it be on? The Boston Celtics, is that what you're going to say? Is that what you're going to say, the Boston Celtics? You want another small forward?
Not necessarily. I think I could be fine with that.
Yeah, maybe your New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Hey, I like this. I like this talk. All right. But yeah, I'll buy on these guys. I'll buy on them. Let's turn to the Knicks. I'm okay with this. Let's make the Knicks great again. At least okay again. I'll take it.
Let's make the Knicks okay again. That's fine. John?
Yeah, out of just like purely hope to see two best friends reunited, I'll buy on this. Purely just hope stock. I don't know where they would go, and one of them would definitely, at least one of them would have to take a pay cut. But I would be really happy to see this, especially if they could find themselves in a way where they can contribute to a decent winning team. I think if they go to they were on the Knicks, I feel like it would feel a lot like pre-Kawhi Raptors days for sure. A lot of regular season wins and not much else. But yeah, I would love to see this. These guys were really good together, just not in the playoffs. And they're two good dudes, good pals. So yeah, I'll buy for friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
Oh wait, let's just send them back to the Toronto Raptors. What are we doing?
We can't if they if the Raptors are really done trying, they're like, we're gonna just cash out for the next 5 years, just chill. Sure.
Chill for the next 5 years. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. You guys can find us on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube. Please like, comment, subscribe. Share us to all your friends and family. Maybe they'll hate us too. Who knows? And follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show. Peace out.
Let's play 4v4. All right. Everything on the line. See ya.